came last year and I talked about this blog that I had done called The Secret Diary of Steve Jobs, and it went over really well. Even though I don't think most people in the audience had even ever read this blog, but it was just a talk about blogging and the media in general. I think most people can relate to the media. They like talking about newspapers because we all know them and use them and have grown up with them, and we all know what's happening in them. So that's what I want to talk about this year is sort of the same subject, only now that the situation is much more dire than it was a year ago. Big papers in the United States are really at risk of going under. It was really right on the edge of the tar pit. And Newsweek, where I'm working now, I started there right after I was here last year, is just next week. It's good timing. They're rolling out a whole new rethinking of the magazine, and they've spent a year or more, a couple of years, thinking what can a magazine do to stay alive, where do we add value, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. And the idea is basically that there is going to be a huge amount of destruction in the media business, and I think the very broad middle of daily papers is going to get really wiped out. And there's sort of two paths that people are taking. One is to escape up by going up market and becoming a smaller but more elite kind of publication, and the other way is to go down and try to become big and broad and everything to everyone. And Newsweek is trying to take the path up. I don't know if it'll work, but I think it's the only way to stay relevant in this age, and then they're trying to build that on the web. I also think that situation is going to lead to a sort of I think we're going to have to pay more for news than we've paid in the past, and I think that's going to lead to this bifurcation, this information haves and have-nots, which we already have now, but I think is going to become even more aggravated. And then there are implications of that. So that's generally what the talk is about today.
Being a technical person, I generally go to specialist technology conferences. It might be a Java conference or a web scalability conference or something like that. And so thinking digital is very different, a very different experience for me, being a very diverse and multidisciplinary event where you get like particle physicists and entrepreneurs and journalists and web services evangelists and programmers and all sorts of people all together in the same room. And I think that's great, just to have the sort of diversity of opinions and diversity of thought available to you to inspire you in ways that you hadn't expected. But also it means that the conversations outside are really inspiring and interesting as well. You're not just talking about the latest little rumor in your particular world. You're talking about real people trying to do amazing things to change the world in something you might not know very much about, but you can still take some learning from that and apply it to your own world.
This conference has only just started this year, but I went to the speaker's dinner, and the speaker's dinner had the guy, and I can't remember his name, from the New York Times, who reviews perfume. And you do not even understand the depth and the art that goes into making perfume. Yeah. He gave all these examples, and he made a dinner, around a perfume as a dinner, so you could smell the cucumbers and the stuff, and you just all these facts about food that you just didn't know. Like, I think 95% of the food we smell, and the 5% we taste.
Right.
So it's like you didn't realise. And so that's the kind of thing that you get from this conference. You don't get from any other conference.
It's just the range of speakers.
The range of speakers, the range of topics, and the depth is really important. You can really drill down. And I think that's what makes Think Digital amazing.
Everything expands your mind, and obviously, the direct topics that have been talked about, things like cloud computing, the astronomical maps, etc., are just fantastic sort of triggers for new ideas and new possible business ideas.